Chinese strategist, military general, and one of the key figures in the history of Chinese military, Sun Tzu said, "Know thyself, know the enemy, 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories." Meaning, we must always try to know ourselves entirely. We have to know who we are, what we develop, what we believe in, what we think about, what we represent as human beings and as individual man, because the moment we are able to attain enlightenment by completely discovering ourselves and also by completely removing our insecurities and anxieties by rectifying them, then that moment we become invincible, indomitable, and almost unconquerable by any kind of external authorities, governmental forces, societal restrictions, and so on and so forth. So we have to know ourselves, and if we know ourselves, then we are not going to battle with anyone. We are not going to war with anyone, because that only brings about devastation and destruction, not only of the country or the state for which we are fighting, but also of ourselves. But the enemy is definitely going to try to provoke us and lure us into battles that are unwanted and undesirable. And in that sense, is definitely going to try to conquer us by first overcoming our minds, self, resolve, and so on and so forth. So the moment we are defeated not only by ourselves but also overcome by the enemy, then in that moment we already lose the battle before even fighting it. And that's why when we discover ourselves entirely, when we know ourselves absolutely, then we can definitely prevent 1,000 battles from taking place that could cause infinite bloodshed and immeasurable sorrow and suffering for everyone in the society, and not just ourselves. And the enemy must also be dealt with intellectually. We must try to deal with our enemies in a philosophical, critical, and rational manner, so that there is no bloodshed or violence or corruption. So the enemy must be tackled and dealt with diplomatically or through understanding, because without understanding there can be no peace. Peace is not something which can be imposed or enforced by anyone on anything. Peace can only be achieved by understanding and compassion between the two parties that are primarily hostile to each other. So that's how we achieve peace, and that's how you avoid battles and wars from not only fighting but from taking place as well. So we have to conquer our enemies through our mental superiority, intelligence, wisdom, and other important faculties. We have to be able to conquer and overcome any sort of enemies through